Welcome, President Krislov and members of the PACE community to our pre-inaugural student showcase. I'm Mary Jo Russell O'Grady, the Associate Vice President and Dean for Students, and today I have a special program planned by Sue Maxim, who was unable to be here with us today, but it was planned by Sue in the Division of Student Success, along with many student-facing front offices. The first hour will be comprised of students who will share their personal PACE path, along with their talents, transformative experiences, and accomplishments. We will even have an opportunity to hear the two Student Government Association presidents interview President Krislov. This showcase will be followed by a reception with food and an exhibit of our students' research, travels, photography, and achievements. Please do stay for that portion of the program, as our students' work is truly amazing. So let's kick this off. Students representing the LGBTQA and Social Justice Center would like to start off our program by offering an all-inclusive welcome. Please join us, Sadie Seibert, Matt Scheller, Emmett Griffith, Jay Bradford, Samantha Erickson, Lonnie Kamatsu, Todd Fitzgerald, Tatiana Graham, Taylor Rosicki, Allison Fisher, Kayla Corfey, Glenn St. Just, Gabe Nichols, Jack Stayer, Jasper Brooks, Danji Frias, and Hector Rios.
Welcome to our New York City campus. Welcome to PACE, y'all.
Welcome, friends and families to PACE. We hope you enjoy our very safe space of colors, laughs, and lots of good fun, keeping it comfortable for everyone.
Don't assume, just ask. It's not that much of a task. Cheer, feed, day and dare. Please be sure to handle with care. The pronouns and identities of those who come to our rainbow space on your face.
Welcome to PACE, President Krislov.
President Krislov, we would like to welcome you and give you this official PACE Pride t-shirt. Welcome, thank you so much.
To answer the question PACE is, and to highlight the PACE path our students have taken, I now welcome to the stage members of the DARE tactic: Quinton Medea, Vinny Ortega, Hector Rios, McLean Powell, Natalie Waits, Trent Soyster, Maddie DeFries, Isaac Anderson, Kelly N., Liana Concepcion, Sharina Medford, Jordan Hudek, Hannah Doyon, Nora Bustani-Jost, Kyla Duarte, and Jenny Hager. Founded by and run by PACE students since 2014, the DARE Tactic is a theater company dedicated to producing new, innovative, original works by underrepresented voices. This segment was written and produced especially for President Krislov.
I was up, first day of, holy crap, first day of PACE University. Oh my God. Okay, you can do this. Here we go. I get up, I get dressed, I grab my bag, and I'm off. And I'm waiting for the elevator. rest of the freshmen on my floor.
Why are there so many AOKs?
What is CIS?
At least I can get Starbucks from the cafeteria.
Where am I going? Pace did not look like this at orientation.
What's the difference between the east and west side?
E321, E322, Y33, where am I?
Well, I guess I'll just stay here. Pace path? What's that? What's my pace path? It's okay. I have a whole year to figure that out. Coffee? Check. Bag? Check. Laptop? Check. Coffee? Check. Well, here we go, I guess.
I don't know. Kappa Delta or Sigma Delta Tau?
Do I take the internship or the job? Internship, job, internship, job? I don't know.
Film club meets on Monday, RHA meets on Tuesday, Honor Society and LGBTQ meet on Wednesday. I need a bigger planner.
After rehearsal 1 in my acting class, my voice lesson, then I have to run and buy 10 more props, all before rehearsal 2. Maybe I'll get some sleep tonight.
Black Student Union meeting followed by class. Then I can meet for the group project. Maybe I'll get Rosella's or Chipotle? Do I even have Flex?
Acting class, and then rehearsal, maybe grab lunch if time, then straight to French. I hope I'll complete the minor on time. Oh, and don't forget about the Honor Society meeting during Common Hour. Oh, good thing I have a whole year to get all of this done. Junior year? Oh my God, seriously? I'm halfway done? Time flies when you cry all the time about the work, the internship, rehearsal, sorority, and now they want me to be an RA. Good thing the end's in sight. Here we go.
finish line of your pace path, and the rest of the journey has just begun. Congrats, class of 2022.
Don't trip. Please say my name right. It's not that hard. My friends better cheer for me. Hi, Mom. Yes, I see you. Hi, Dad. Camera down. Hi, Grandma. Thanks for these shoes. Here we go.
Finding yourself.
A diverse family.
Pace is inspiring, enlightening.
The springboard of our ambition.
Legacy.
Our beginning. Pace is the place.
Cutting edge. Opportunity.
Unifying. The foundation of my career.
PACE is a community of people looking to succeed.
New York City experiences. Pace is a new beginning every day.
Determined. A community. A place where I accept myself. Filled with endless opportunities.
PACE is the start of my adventure.
Creative.
Saucy.
Thrilling. Empowering. And a community. Our home away from home.
International.
Where we found ourselves.
I'm all choked up. Okay. We are. Now, technology for the greater good. To talk about their technological prowess that leads to the greater good, I'd like to welcome to the stage Rachel Gonzalez, Danielle Rand, Connor McGee, and Brendan DeLuca. Danielle and Rachel will talk about their Minute Mantra app, which won the 2017 Pitch Pace competition, for which they are headed to Germany with Sue Maxim in late November to present at an international conference. Then Connor and Brandon will discuss the National Cybersecurity Conference they recently attended in addition to their Cybersecurity Club. Take it away. Do you want to run your slides then? Or do you want me to? No, we can start.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Happy midterms week.
Yeah, excited for that. Don't you wish you just had 1 minute to just relax and take it easy?
So that idea, that very feeling of stress and anxiety during midterms week in your personal life and your significant other and your friends and blah, 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 was the inspiration behind our app, Minute Mantra.
So 40 million US adults suffer from an anxiety disorder.
And 75% will experience their first episode before age 22, which is us. So Minute Mantra is a mobile application that is meant to be your friend during those moments of anxiety, to help you get that minute to yourself. We have features like a minutation, which is kind of like a stress ball, and simply put, it's a 1-minute countdown that relaxes your breathing when you're like, spilled my coffee, or like, I just failed that test for sure. And then we have meditation sessions, which help you get into a regular habit of calming your breathing and your thoughts.
Our basic goal is to help people, and we believe that by helping others, you truly help yourself. So because of that, we have an organizations section in our app, like a little tab. And we have organizations that we're partnered with where our users can donate their time or money to help themselves feel better. And alongside that, we have a non-profile-based social media platform that allows users to post any positive affirmation that they think will help other people. So you can just mindlessly scroll through non-stressful, no anxiety, social media that will help you feel good and also help you give to others.
So these are some of our projections for our future time, but we would be nowhere with this project without PACE, starting with our field study class, which we went to India with Dr. G and Professor Kernet, and they've been so supportive and like pushed us. They're like, this is a great idea, do it, work really hard, and that was our first stepping stone towards all of this.
And because of that field study, we felt that we were on the right path to even try the PACE pitch contest, which we won first place in, and won a little bit of cash to start off some of our ideas and things that we wanted to do for the app.
And
Go ahead.
And of course, with Seidenberg's support and the Office for Student Success, we are able to go present our research and findings and our app at an academic conference this November in Germany, which we're very excited about. So we just really would love to thank PACE for all of it.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, Jen Crespo, for having all of this for us and organizing everything.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, President Krislov. Thank you all for having us. So the tech industry, within the tech industry, it's often joked that companies want to hire people who have experience, but recent graduates can't get hired because they don't have any experience. So the Applied Data and Networking Science Labs aims to terminate this catch-22 by offering students the ability to gain experience within 3 distinct areas, within big data, telecommunications, and cybersecurity. In this lab, we want to close the gap between the theoretical knowledge that students gain while in the classroom and the practical applications that employers are looking for within students. Cybersecurity students can practice different offensive and defensive techniques necessary for the corporate environment. Big data students are able to perform analysis and on different transactions that mirror major corporations such as Amazon. And telecommunications students can also take part in our Cisco Net Academy training, which will educate them on how to configure routers and switches, which are the devices that connect the internet. This lab has proven to be extremely successful, as many of the students who have participated in many of the activities that we have gone on to full-time opportunities as they finish their schoolwork. This includes companies such as Google and Cisco. Now, specifically within the field of cybersecurity, there's the Cybersecurity Club now. This club offers students the ability to participate in workshops, which are led by fellow students, and to help gain insight into more specific topics rather than what they learn in the classroom. Students can bring questions in to professionals who are already a part of the field from organizations such as the New York Police Department, as well as JP Morgan and Chase. And here they can get a better understanding of what it takes to start a career in cybersecurity, as well as the different career paths that they might want to follow. They can also stay up to date with industry trends and stay up to date with relative news. Opportunities arise from this club, and this includes participating in global competitions, as well as attending security conferences that Brandon will now speak to.
Good afternoon, everyone. So as a third-year PACE student with vested interest in cybersecurity, I had the privilege, thanks to PACE, along with Connor and another group of students, to attend DEF CON in Las Vegas, Nevada. For those of you that don't know, DEF CON is one of the world's largest hacker conventions and started taking place in 1993. Attendees include everyone from computer security professionals, journalists, lawyers, federal government employees, security researchers, and students like us that just want to learn. At the event, I sat through many talks about new vulnerabilities that people found, as well as vital research that is relevant to the current events of my field. I even attended workshops by security researchers that I follow on Twitter, which was pretty cool. Everyone should know that cybersecurity is an ever-updating field, and understanding other people's current research is vital to having the best defense. To witness the hacking of voting machines, the expertise of lockpickers, and the skill of reverse engineers, which is a field I would like to find myself in, was at the same time scary and fascinating. It was eye-opening and expanded my way of thinking. It also served as a huge motivating factor for myself to become just as skilled as any of the experts present and maybe one day be on the stage myself. This trip did not only benefit me, but it benefited Pace Seidenberg as a whole. After learning many new things at the event, I can bring back data from the workshops and presentations that I can then present at our club meetings and around Seidenberg, as well as create new documentation and labs for students to complete when they visit the Applied Data and Networking Science Lab that Connor talked about. As a student intern for Dr. Gabberty, who presides over the lab, my job is to facilitate learning and lead students in the right direction when it comes to cybersecurity. Having new information and new engaging activities benefits Seidenberg as a whole. So thank you, Pace. Thank you.
Action and experience in the environmental clinic. All PACE students have one thing in common. They all make a difference in the lives of others, and PACE provides them seemingly countless venues in which to do this. One such example is the PACE Environmental Clinic, a civic engagement course open to all students that is offered on both campuses that provides students professional training in real-world policymaking. I would now like to call up to the stage Christina Thomas, Rowan Lanning, and Pavan Nadu, who will present on several of the exciting and unique experiences the student clinicians have had the opportunity to be a part of, including drafting, lobbying for, and passing the Elephant Protection Act in Albany, which just last week was signed into law by Governor Cuomo. Working to halt a Coast Guard proposal to establish anchorage points for oil barges on the Hudson, and winning the Project Pericles national competition, and of course, testifying at City Hall hearing on anti-youth tobacco legislation. Put your hands together for the Environmental Clinic.
Thank you for the introduction and welcome, Mr. President. Facilitated by Professor Land and Professor Cronin, the mission of the Dyson College Environmental Policy Clinic is to train students from all majors to become policymakers, and we have 22 majors so far. The clinic teaches professional advocacy skills such as lobbying, bill drafting, testimony presentation, persuasive writing, and argument. As a team, we identify an issue, perform research and analysis, create a policy solution, debate, refine, and implement. Pace University Government Relations Office, Vanessa Herman and Bill Colonna, then instruct us how to lobby, and with their help, each of us becomes a New York State lobbyist, which looks fantastic on the resume. The most recent example of our work is the Elephant Protection Act. It was researched, written, and lobbied for by university students, and recently passed the legislature and was signed by Governor Cuomo on Thursday, actually, which is last week. Next one. And here's why. What?
It's not up there. They didn't upload it.
What do you mean they didn't upload it?
There's no slideshow. PowerPoint?
Our PowerPoint's not up here? I'm just gonna go on. You want me to wait?
It should be on there. It goes straight to Opportunitas.
Hit escape. Sorry.
Sorry, everybody. It was there this morning. Do you want to just talk about it? Can we just cut the screen and he could talk, and then I'll pull it up?
Okay. The Elephant Protection Act, introduced by Senator Murphy and Assemblymember Paulin, prohibits elephants from entertainment acts such as circuses, fairs, and carnivals. Though the Ringling Brothers is out of business, 9 circuses pass through New York State and still have elephants. They all use fear, pain, and intimidation through stabbing with a bullhook, deprivation, and psychological abuse. As a result, they live half as long as they would in the wild. As a new generation of consumers and future parents, we didn't want our children to go through and watch elephants being presented as clowns. They're the largest land animals, and they deserve to be in the wild. We met with members of the New York Times editorial board and were grilled about the bill. And a week later, the headline read, "Saving Elephants, Ennobling Albany." We traveled as a team to the New York State Legislature in Albany multiple times, lobbied, and presented them with 1,100 Pace University student signatures. Thank you. Because of a late introduction in the first year, it failed to pass the assembly. But we didn't let that stop us. In the second year, organizations from all over the nation supported our bill. It passed both houses with 3 days left, and like I said, last Thursday it passed, or Governor Cuomo signed the bill into law. New York State is the first in the nation to implement an outright ban of elephants in entertainment acts, and we expect others to follow suit. So thank you. Also, if I can just steal 15 extra seconds and say, I was a senior looking for throwaway credits. I needed to graduate and I needed credits fast. And I found the environmental policy clinic and I said, all right, I'm gonna take it. Little did I know that I'd be writing a bill and it would change the whole course of my life. Now I'm a Master's of Environmental Policy student here at Pace University. Michelle Land is the instructor, and because of the clinic, I interned at Riverkeeper, a water advocacy organization. I was able to teach at the New York Harbor School, and I am now a staff member at Assemblymember Dee Dee Barrett's office. And I owe most of my success, if not all, to the Environmental Policy Clinic. So thank you so much for everything.
So now we have a presentation, though we missed the first half of the elephant bill, but I think Pavan did a great job introducing it without any visuals, so good job, Pavan. The next issue that we've been working on for the most part of last year and now this year is our Hudson River case. On June 9th, 2016, the Coast Guard released an advance notice of proposed rulemaking, which is pictured on the slide, which is not on the screen. But this advance notice proposed rulemaking would establish 43 special anchorages along the Hudson River between Yonkers, New York, and Kingston. Through research, we discovered that the Coast Guard should have done public outreach, they should have done studies. However, none of this had been researched or proposed before the advance notice was released. So we decided to do further digging into the issue. We discovered a handbook that the Coast Guard uses specifically called the Port Waterways Safety Assessment Handbook. This handbook dictated that the Coast Guard was supposed to do a Waterways Analysis and Management System study, otherwise known as a WAM study, a Port and Waterways Safety Assessment study, otherwise known as a PASA study, and they were also supposed to undergo public hearings before releasing this advance notice. However, none of this was done, which left a lot of the public in the dark. You had a lot of public officials who were very concerned because they've invested a lot of money into revitalizing their coast along the Hudson River. You have restaurants that really elaborate on the view of the Hudson River while eating. You have shops that really profit on it. So the fact that the Coast Guard wanted to create these barges without speaking with any of these public officials was appalling. So we decided to take some further action on the issue.
So after discovering that the Coast Guard ignored its own internal protocol, we sent an official request of withdrawal to the Commandant Admiral Paul Zunkuft. We also submitted public comments to the Federal Registrar as part of the clinic's class. We then later went to the Hudson River and led a press conference with Senator Terrence Murphy to release our findings to the public, after which Christina and I drafted a new law and presented it to Congressman Gerald Nadler, which would basically mark the Hudson River as a historic major federal action and would require any further action to be classified with an environmental impact statement. As a result, we proposed and defended our law to the Project Pericles Debating for Democracy National Conference, and we won the first place prize of $3,000, which we will now be using in order to lobby for federal legislation change in Washington, D.C. this semester. And this semester in the clinic, we'll be doing a couple other things as well.
Going off of the Coast Guard issue, we're organizing a bi-campus front between the Pleasantville and New York City clinics. In this, we're completing a cost-benefit analysis study with the help of some of our economics majors to use while lobbying with elected officials. We also have several PACE representatives who will be attending the Coast Guard public hearings next month to serve as official advisors while they're now going to undergo the PASA study. Essentially, what happened once we revealed that they hadn't undergone these studies is that they suspended their advance notice, saying that PACE was right, we didn't do these studies, so now we are going to do them. So with this, we're also going to continue lobbying our elected officials, and we're also going to, as Rowan said, go down to Washington, D.C., where we're going to go to the public offices of our New York City representatives there. We will also be organizing an event upstate in about a couple months where we're going to bring together schools from all over the area to educate them about the Coast Guard issue, educate them about our bill, as well as provide them with lobbying training if they have an issue themselves they would like to put forward.
So these aren't the only issues that our clinic works on. Every semester, all of our students propose ideas, and we vote on the ones that we want to work on. Last semester, we started work on underage smoking legislation. There's a package of New York City and New York State bills that we're hoping to add our legislation to. We were able to send members of the clinic to testify at a New York City Hall hearing last semester, and this Thursday, actually tomorrow, goodness, we're going to be meeting with 3 legislative mayoral staff officers, one from the legislative office, one from the health office, and one from the mayor's staff himself. We're going to be doing a lot of work with that. We're also going to explore some things like river connectivity and dams in New York State, and things like food waste and ways in which we can make our campus more green. The Environmental Policy Clinic is an incredible opportunity, and it's such a diverse and incredible experience to have here at PACE, and I've never experienced anything like it. I'm pretty sure it's the only undergraduate clinic of this level in the entire country. So thank you so much to Professors Land and Professor Cronin. Thank you to PACE in general, and we hope that we'll be able to make a lot of great change while we're here through the Environmental Policy Clinic. Welcome, President Krislov.
Wow, our students are amazing. Now this won't turn, please help me. Okay, excuse me. Opportunitas fully realized. John Harrison from Lubin's MBA program will now speak with you about the many opportunities PACE has provided access to during his time as an MBA student that have led to his path forward as a member of a startup of leadership teams. John Harrison, come on to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I get started, I just want to say that while I've been asked to speak about Opportunitas at PACE, that all of the students that came before me, the presentations, the performances, really personify how much opportunity there really is here at PACE. So I'm going to speak more about it, but I think a round of applause is due for everyone who came up before me. So yes, I graduated with my MBA this year in May, class of 2017. And I wanted to come and talk about all the different opportunities that PACE afforded me during my tenure as an MBA student. I'm actually a 3rd-generation PACE alumni. My grandfather, John Harrison, also is sitting in the back there. He was kind enough to come and support me today. And when I was writing this speech, I started thinking about all the opportunities that I was granted here at PACE. And what really occurred to me was the story goes back a lot farther than me. The Harrison family Opportunitas goes way back to my grandfather. My grandfather came here in 1946 and graduated in 1954. So Pace Opportunitas for the Harrison family goes back a very long way. My grandfather, at the age of 12, became the head of his household very suddenly. He helped his family through the Great Depression. He graduated high school. He got a job at Packard Motor Company in the mailroom. He decided to leave his job, even after getting 2 promotions, to go fight in World War II. He enlisted with the Navy, served his country for 3 years. He came back from World War II, married his sweetheart, Marion Burley, my grandmother, and started the Harrison family here in New York. At that time, he began looking for opportunity for his family, and he decided to come to Pace. He signed up to get a bachelor's degree in accounting, persevered through 8 years of night classes, was obviously supported very much by my grandfather, and as I said, in 1954, realized his own opportunitas with Pace. He went out into the world, got a job at an advertising firm in the finance and accounting group, and rose on a trajectory that few people hope to achieve. He became the CFO of Ogilvy and Mather here in New York City in the 1970s and held that office until 1983, when he decided to retire because his first grandson was born. From a 12-year-old boy in Brooklyn to the CFO of a major advertising firm here in New York City, certainly opportunitas realized in my grandfather. Now for myself, I came here in 2014, some 30 years later after my grandfather retired. I came to Pace looking for opportunity as well, but a different kind. I had spent 8 years with Johnson & Johnson doing finance and accounting in a Fortune 500 environment, and I loved it there. But I knew my passion was in small business and entrepreneurship. And researching different schools to get my MBA at, obviously with some family history involved, I found that Pace was an excellent place to go if you wanted to pivot into small business, into entrepreneurship. I came to Pace with opportunity on day one as a graduate assistant. I worked in the E-Lab, the entrepreneurship lab, led by Bruce Brockenheimer. And from there, I had the opportunity to realize so many different opportunities at Pace University. In my first semester at Pace, I became a Desert Fellow, which meant that I was paired with an Israeli startup overseas. They were a stem cell research company, and they needed someone to do their financial modeling and forecasting. And I was given the opportunity to help them raise their venture capital. We were able to raise $750,000 in seed money in that first year. I'm very proud to say that they're still in existence today doing that research and hopefully changing the world as they try and cure cancer. Further along that year, with the support of the E-Lab, my mentors, and other coaches at Pace, I had the opportunity to buy a small business in Texas. I started in Texas with Johnson & Johnson, which is why I was down there. And through that small business, I received coaching, mentoring, and support through the different resources at Pace. And I'm very happy to say with that business, we're able to turn it from a company about to fall into bankruptcy to something that's now profitable and making new jobs in the local city. We're actually also about to buy our second bar down there, so hopefully we'll be able to repeat that success story. From the opportunity at the bar came an entrepreneurial idea. At this point, I was fully bitten by the entrepreneurial bug. I decided to found a company called Mug Clubs. Mug Clubs is a sales and marketing tech company that supports bars and restaurants who want to promote craft beers as part of their establishment. Again, with Pace's resources and support, I began this endeavor, but I also have made available financial means. I applied for the Ted and Pat Levine Proof of Concept Initiative grant. I love saying that one. And was fortunate enough to be awarded $7,500 that we used to test various sales and marketing strategies for the company. I can say honestly that that made a huge difference. Later on, 2 years later, we have a full-time CTO, we have a full-time director of sales, and that money we had early on helped us test products that have made us far more successful today. Late in my MBA education, I decided to switch from full-time to part-time. As I began applying my MBA for consulting positions, I had the opportunity to work for 2 firms here in New York, Primary.com and Some Spider Studios. Some Spider Studios was an incredible opportunity working with Vinny Brauer. If you don't know who Vinny is, he founded Soap.com and Diapers.com. His business partner founded Jet.com, which was just sold to Walmart for $3.3 billion. In that moment, I realized my ambitions for Pace because I had found a full-time job in finance and accounting, helping a startup grow and build their finance and accounting institutions from scratch. Upon graduating, I had the opportunity to accept a CFO position here in the city, working for The Real Deal, which is a real estate publisher, the largest in the nation. So for myself, I know that there's incredible opportunity through Pace, and I know that everyone sitting in this room, whether it be student, faculty, or otherwise, will realize their ambitions because of the various opportunities that Pace has brought to them. Thank you.
And now, a conversation between the three presidents. Please welcome President Marvin Krislov, Bartek Szymanski, the SGA Executive President for New York City, and Julian Austin, the SGA Executive President for Pleasantville. Bartek and Julian will have a conversation with President Krislov for about the next 10 minutes. So go ahead, guys. Come on up.
Live in action? We good to go?
We're ready.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
First and foremost, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate you, President Krislov, for everything you're doing. Welcome to the PACE family. I know you're gonna love it, and if you don't, you better. You know?
I love it already. I love it already. I love it already.
All right, well, I'm gonna kick it off like this. So my first question for you is, what are your impressions of PACE students so far?
Well, I've been struck by, first of all, I thought everything today was really terrific, and I was so excited to learn more, and I'm going to be talking about some of this in my inaugural speech. I can't mention all the good things that are going on in PACE, but I got to tell you, the passion and the commitment was really palpable and very exciting for me. So let's give it up for everybody who presented today. It was really great. So I would say passion, energy, commitment, drive, desire to succeed. I mean, those are the things that really strike me. Yeah.
President Krislov. Good
Bartek.
morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Or
President.
good afternoon.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Mr. President, please.
Mr. President, yes.
Don't make me blush on stage.
Absolutely.
President Krislov, well, welcome first. I wanted to ask you a question which has been asked to many presidents and leaders over the years, and that is, what do you plan to accomplish in your first 100 days after inauguration?
Oh, this is a good question. I'll take a drink of water first. So, one of the things that I've been really focused on is trying to learn more about PACE, meet people, try to remember their names. There are a lot of names coming at me, and also get out and meet alumni as well, and try to understand the PACE experience, like the Harrison experience. That was really wonderful to hear about that. That is a story that I've heard. Not exactly that story, but from a lot of PACE alums. You know, stories like I talked to a man the other day who had come here. His father came from China and opened up a restaurant, and this young man came as a waiter and sort of worked in the restaurant, and then went to PACE at night and balanced work and so forth, and he became the Morgan Stanley's chief point person in Asia, from the waiter at his father's fledgling Chinese restaurant in New York City. I mean, and these are stories that really, it's really the American dream. So one of the things I'm trying to do is learn more, get out there, but also understand with faculty and staff. And what I'm hopeful that we'll do is we're assembling a team, and we're going to create momentum to do some really great things. And not just 100 days, but one of my objectives is to try to bring the resources and recognition to PACE that I think it deserves. So I hope that answers your very difficult question, Bartek.
It does.
Mr. President.
It does,
Mr. President. Yes.
This is back to me now.
Okay.
This is gonna get personal. So who is your role model, and how has he or she affected your life professionally and personally?
Oh, Julian, you had to ask that. Yeah. I think I have a number of role models, including teachers and people I've worked with, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to say my parents, which I know everybody says their parents, but it's really true. Both my parents came from very, very tough, poor childhoods, and they worked their way up, and they did education, but they never forgot where they came from, and they never forgot that there were a lot of people out there who were in need. And in fact, I mean, one of my strongest memories of my childhood was going around with my parents and them saying, do you see what's going on? Do you see how people are not lucky like you are? And basically instilled in me the notion that I needed to work to make sure that everybody had the opportunities that I had. because I had benefited from the work of my parents. So I would have to say my parents if I had to pick two. Yeah.
President Krislov.
President.
There are many points
Szymanski.
Yes. There are many points of PACE Pride, not the least of which that we are recognized by the New York Times for being number 2 in the nation for upward mobility, and have been named by the Princeton Review as one of the best colleges in the Northeast. Did you know that?
You know, I did know that.
Well, now, President Krislov, this is only in addition to the nationally acclaimed programs we have here, such as the performing arts. So my question is this: how do you plan to build on our success and our reputation, and what do you see, and how do you see PACE being recognized moving forward?
One of the things that I am trying to do is get us more spotlight, so to speak, and in fact, I've been running around New York, meeting people. Yesterday I was at the Wall Street Journal, and I've been talking to people. So there are a lot of different strategies. There's free media, which you'd call free media, but then there's also what we present, and so that's things like the website, things like speaking, brochures, and so forth. But I also just think giving the light to the students and the faculty is really the best sales that we can do. And so, you know, I love to hear the stories about the students who went to the national conference and presented and won. And I think, you know, the environmental clinic, just to name one, I mean, that is really extraordinary. I went to law school, and there were clinics that did this kind of work, but I do think it's very unusual. It may be the only one in the nation. I can't speak to that myself, but it is extraordinary to have undergraduates doing that kind of work, and I think we just need to get out there. It's very challenging in New York City, and so we have to be even more creative and also think about things like social media, which we are on, and we're doing a great job, and that's why I do things like the Snapchat Challenge, partly just to get out there and just make it clear, but we want to work with students and faculty to figure out how to get their stories out. And so while we have a great university relations department and we have great communications people, sometimes the best idea come from the folks who are actually doing the work. And so we want to hear from people what the stories are, what the ways that they think we can spread the word about. So, yeah.
I've got one more for you. So, as you know, Pace University has 3 dynamic campuses: White Plains, here in New York City, and Pleasantville. So my biggest question for you is, what is your overall plan or strategy to unite the overall student population of the Pleasantville and New York City campuses?
Well, that's what your job is to help me with. No, and we got this. And we're going to do this concert, right?
That's right.
Dean Lisa, we're going to do a concert. I mean, again, one of the things we have to do is figure out what will bring people together. And so it can't just be top down. It really has to be from the people who are going to be brought together, the community, if you will. So, you know, I'm very open to the ideas. I know that there are geographic boundaries, but I do think that through technology and other things that we can bring people together. I'm very open to hearing ideas. I mean, one of the reasons why I embraced the concert idea was I think you guys talked to me about it when I first visited. Right. So I'm very interested in more ideas about that, particularly ideas that don't involve, you know, huge expenditures of time and money. But you guys are creative, passionate, energetic. Give us the ideas, and we'll do it. We'll do it. All right.
Thank you for mentioning that, President Krislov. Speaking of creativity, this is a little creative question here. It's out of the box. So, President Krislov, if we were to swap places right now, making you the new student government president on the New York City campus, what question would you ask the new president of Pace University?
This is a really good question. And if I were a better politician, I would just say, that is a great question, and just praise you for that great question. But I'm actually going to try to answer it, Bartek. Let me try to do it this way. I would say, what do you think students want, and how are you going to achieve or answer their concerns? And I would say that different students want different things, but there's some common threads that I've heard, and those include they want connection. They want connection to both students and faculty and staff, and they want to create community, particularly in a big crowded place like Manhattan. That's a challenge. I think Pleasantville, because of the size and scale, it may be a little easier, but there are other challenges in Pleasantville because you don't have all the same opportunities that you might have in Manhattan. So it's a different set of challenges. But I think students want connection to students and faculty, create the community. I think they want to feel that in their work they're making progress toward their goals and have opportunities. And I think they want to see how the PACE path or the future is before them, and how the PACE path will guide them on that. And how do I think I will help them? One of the things that I believe in is harnessing the energy and the creativity of the people inside the institution and trying to help them find the way. And that might be first by listening to people and trying to connect them. And that sounds like a silly little thing, but one of the things I find is that even though we're not humongous, a lot of people don't know what each other are doing. And so I think that's partly communicating and understanding what resources there are. And then the other thing is, of course, going back to my point about resources and recognition and trying to provide people opportunities. So last night I went to an event with Joy Mangano, who is sort of a quintessential PACE story. Joy, the movie Joy, right? And I went there to congratulate her, but also to talk about how we can sort of piggyback on her success and her story as well. And so, and that's just one example of trying to get out there and make connections and partnerships. And Provost Herman, who is here, I want to recognize for all her hard work, and I are working on some other connections. And everyone has an idea. Some have better ideas than others, but everyone has ideas of ways that we can do this. So that's sort of the question that I think maybe you could have asked.
Yes, that certainly answers my question. And just for the record, if I was the president of PACE, I would say the exact same thing.
There you go.
With that, President Krislov, I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. And if you have any questions for us or the student government, you have my email. So
thank you. Thank you. I hope to see you all at the inauguration and some of the activities as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent. That is excellent. Thank you. Now, please join us to conclude our showcase. Please join Michaela Lockhart in singing PACE's alma mater. Are you ready? Wait till you hear this voice. Come on up, Michaela.
Thank you. Alma mater, hearts and voices, sing to thee our everlasting praise. Each and every heart rejoices at the thought of happy days. PACE, oh PACE, we'll never forget you, nor the friends we hold so dear. Memories will linger ever and will brighten coming years. Alma mater, stand forever. Love is strong as we go marching by. So we raise our voices with your standard held on high. PACE, oh PACE, will ever follow where the beacon show the way. True to thee will be forever as we labor day by day. Thank you.
Lovely as always. I just want to shout out a big thank you to all the student participants who shared their talents, achievements, and passion for PACE with us today. Please join us in the lobby for a reception and a wide array of student exhibits, and don't forget to come to the inaugural on Sunday. Thank you all for attending.